In the field of football, there are those who go beyond skill and into domination, but also just a handful that transcend their sport completely for us all. This was one such time. 2014 through 2015 is a season where Neymar Jr. didn't even appear to be playing football. He seemed to be remaking it. From the dusty streets of Mogi das Cruzes to the hallowed surrounds of Camp Nou, this is a story about how a boy growing up in complete poverty became certainly the most enchanting talent in the world. And one season, he wasn't human at all. He was superhuman. Long before the glamour and the glory, before the millions and the fame, there was just a skinny kid with a ball and a dream. Born February 5th, 1992 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. was just an ordinary kid who came from the streets. In February of that year, his father gave up being a professional footballer when his career was curtailed due to injury, and he still has not accepted this setback. The son was born into struggle, becoming all too familiar with hardship as a child. With 2 children and a husband whose football career had just been lost, there were many worries the family had about the future. Just paying the bills and keeping the lights on was a daily struggle. Another time, Neymar's family moved in with his grandparents just to live. He's recounted the experience, saying, "I once asked my mom for some cookies, and she said we couldn't afford them. Maybe if they paid your dad by next week, I'll be able to get some too. But I told her not to worry, because someday I'll be so rich that there won't be anything that can't be mine to eat." However, things didn't go as planned for young Neymar, who was almost killed at birth. Just 4 months after he was born, heavy storms caused the family to crash in their car. His parents woke up cut and bleeding, but no one could find the child. Finally, a distant cry caused them to locate Neymar Jr., miraculously still alive, with a wound on his forehead alone. From that moment on, virtually everyone in Brazil knew that Neymar Sr. had something truly special on his hands. Football was Neymar's escape from the world of poverty and despair. By age 11, people were beginning to realize that he was different from everyone else on the field. He wasn't just playing. It was as if his control over the ball itself now extended to mastery of his own body. While giants of European football like Real Madrid were keeping an eye on the young prodigy, it was Santos who would nurture his talent. At 17 years old in 2009, he made his professional debut for the club. Once again, Neymar became the jewel in Santos' crown. In 2011, he secured their first Copa Libertadores title since the Pelé era ended, scoring 6 goals during that tournament, including one of these decisive strikes in its final match. He was so good on the field, so entirely captivating, that fans brought tickets just to watch him play. It wasn't only about winning anymore, it was about watching a master at work. By 2013, after 136 goals and 225 appearances for Santos, Europe's top clubs were no longer satisfied with simply observing from a distance. The time had come for Neymar to take that essential South American step of moving to Europe. If you're enjoying this journey through Neymar's remarkable rise to stardom, smash that like button and turn on notifications. We got plenty more incredible football stories coming your way that you just don't want to miss. Anyways, Barcelona snapped him up for a cool €57.1 million, pairing him with the albeit incomparable Lionel Messi. The first season showed promise, 15 goals and 15 assists in 41 games, but the adaptation was not so easy. Neymar was crying in the locker room. Reports emerged that he was weighed down by the crushing pressure of expectations. Roundabout 1987 would present an even heavier burden. Brazil hosted the FIFA World Cup, and the 5-time champions were expecting nothing less than victory this time, and Neymar was their talisman. He started off brilliantly, scoring 2 goals in Chile and laying the ball expertly into the path of teammate David Luiz for Brazil's passage into the quarterfinal against Colombia. Then came a moment that shook the football world to its core. In the 88th minute, Colombian defender Juan Zuniga drove his knee into Neymar's back in a reckless challenge. The diagnosis was shocking: a broken vertebrae. The doctors gave two pieces of news. The bad thing is that the World Cup is finished for you. The good thing is, if that injury had been a centimeter lower, you'd never walk again. As Neymar wept, so did a nation. Without their star, Brazil fell apart in the semifinal, suffering a historic 7-1 thrashing at the hands of Germany. Neymar might yet get over the physical pain, but those mental scars, the knowledge that his World Cup dream had been shattered just as it was about to be achieved, would fuel whatever was to come. When Neymar returned to FC Barcelona for the 2014-15 season, something had changed. The playful veneer which still clings to him, as though he were that little boy who only a moment earlier had dropped his ice cream cone chasing it down the center street. He got conked on the head for his trouble that remained. But underneath it all, there was a decision to be made. The heartbreak of that cup final in Brasilia had given birth to something new, a player who had to prove himself. With Luis Suarez linking up with Messi and Neymar in attack, Barcelona's striking power was second to none, a force football would never see again. Neymar's exceptional campaign was about more than just his number, although those were pretty impressive: 39 goals and 10 assists in 51 games. But it was how he achieved them as well. The Brazilian was not merely bagging goals for fun. He was expressing himself through the art of soccer. His performance in the Champions League was particularly extraordinary. 10 goals in the competition, including crucial strikes against Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich in the knockout stages. He ended up as joint top scorer alongside Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, in elite company for a player who was still finding his feet in Europe. The crowning moment came in the Champions League final against Juventus. With Barcelona ahead 2-1 and Juventus pushing hard for an equalizer, Neymar struck the knockout blow in the 97th minute. It was a goal that earned Barcelona their 5th European Cup and completed a historic treble: La Liga, Copa del Rey, and Champions League. And what made Neymar's 2014 and 15 season so special was the balance he found, that delicate equilibrium between creativity and efficiency. The shaman had turned into a game setter. What separated 2014 and 15 Neymar from both his previous and future self was a rare confluence of factors. Physically, he was at his peak. Explosive acceleration combined with newfound strength. The fragility that had marked his early career was gone, replaced by a robustness that allowed him to ride challenges that once would have sent him tumbling. Tactically, he had evolved too. Under Luis Enrique's guidance, Neymar developed positional intelligence that complemented his natural instincts. He wasn't just a winger anymore. He was a complete forward, capable of creating and finishing in equal measure. Mentally, the World Cup heartbreak had given him an edge. There was a hunger in his play, a desire not just to entertain, but to dominate. Every feint, every step over now had purpose. They weren't flourishes for their own sake, but weapons deployed with precision. Most importantly, he had found the perfect balance between individual brilliance and team play. While he would later struggle with being in Messi's shadow, during this magical season, they complemented each other perfectly. Neymar knew when to defer and when to take center stage. This version of Neymar was unique. We had never seen it before, and some argue we've never seen it since. It was a player at the absolute peak of his powers, blending Brazilian flair with European efficiency in a way that seemed almost supernatural. The 2014 and 15 season ended with Neymar finishing third in the Ballon d'Or standings, behind only Messi and Ronaldo. It was confirmation of what many already knew. He had arrived at football's top table. In the years that followed, Neymar would break transfer records with his €222 million move to PSG. He would win more trophies, and continued to dazzle. But many argue that he never quite recaptured the magic of that 2014 and 15 campaign, the season when he wasn't human. Perhaps it was the perfect storm of the right team, the right tactical system, the right mindset. Perhaps it was the hunger that comes from heartbreak, the determination to prove that the World Cup injury was merely a detour, not a dead end on his path to greatness. Whatever the reason, for those 9 months, football fans worldwide witnessed something special to a player operating on a different plane, bending the game to his will with a smile on his face. From the boy who once couldn't afford cookies to a global icon who redefined what was possible on a football pitch, Neymar's journey embodies the transformative power of sport. And at the center of that journey stands the 2014 and 15 season when Neymar was not human. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of football's most mesmerizing talents, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We're constantly making premium football content that goes beyond the highlights. Drop a comment below with which player you'd like us to feature next, and follow us on all social media platforms for daily football content. Your support means everything to us, and let's continue celebrating the beautiful game together.